Welcome to the Smart Drive podcast, where real chat meets advanced driving, and Simon's voice is hopefully going to hold out. My name's Simon Horton. I'm an advanced driver and an EV enthusiast.
My name's Ashley, and I'm a driving instructor by trade and dabble a little bit on YouTube. Just on that point of your voice, Simon, I'm going to purposefully say nothing tonight. I'm just going to leave it to you.
And I thought I was going to spin it the other way and saying, you're going to do all the talking and I'm just going to prompt questions. For listeners and viewers, I've been lacking in my voice through the rest of the week, and it's been touch and go as to whether we can get this done. So we'll see how far we get. We'll see how far we get. Good.
Absolutely.
And we're recording this on a Sunday, so happy weekend, mate. Have you had a good weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. Weekend. What have I done? Not much, really. I've been out. I've done a little bit of recording. Today, I got sent another electric bike. And I'm going to do the same with this one. I've done a little video on it, and I'm going to put it on eBay and put all the proceeds to Carl Lane Animals in Need. So I think that's probably the nicest way to dispose of things I get sent nowadays. So that's all I've done. We've had some family up from London. Came up yesterday and went back midday-ish today. So it's nice to see them. What about yourself, Simon? What have you been up to?
Not a lot today. It being a Sunday. Yesterday was a fairly epic day. We did Alnwick and back, so Northumberland and back, to go and see some friends up there that we try and see on a regular basis, but it's been a while. As we concluded after we got there was several exchanges of birthday presents and a housewarming gift and a Christmas present, and they've given us Easter presents on the way back. So there was a whole carload of stuff that got exchanged, but it was great to catch up with them.
Tells a story, that, Simon, doesn't it? If you're exchanging that many presents from that many things, I understand. Life is hectic, though, mate. It's understandable.
It is. But it was good. It was good to do a fairly long trip. I've done a couple of long trips in the last 7 days. So yesterday was a 300-mile round trip. I did a 420-mile round trip Thursday, Friday to go down to a funeral down south. The Q6 has been racking up some miles this week.
It was the first thing that came into my thought. What is it like efficiency compared to your Kia? Have you got any little bits of further data? I'm suspecting it will be a little bit heavier on the electrons than the Kia. Is it significant?
It's worse in efficiency, but that's made up by having the bigger battery and the faster charging. So as an example, as I said, we did 300 miles yesterday. We did one charge for 12 minutes, and when I plugged in, I was getting 265 kilowatts, and it maintained above 200 for the entire 12 minutes. So it just, I guess in that situation, that was one of those where we had to charge and we stopped somewhere where there wasn't anything else to do. The dog didn't need to go out, so we did just sit and browse the internet for 12 minutes, I guess. But it's not long, is it? Not long.
No. What did you charge up to? I'm just I'm thinking about the electric cars that I've had. 200 kilowatts, obviously it's a high rate. What sort of level did you charge at? I'm suspecting with you it was down at the last 3 or 4 electrons, and you probably just went up to 25% or something.
You see, you got to remember I had Carla in the car, so we didn't go too far on the squeakometer reading. It just went into efficiency mode, so I must have just clipped under 10% as we got to the charger, so it was probably 9%, and I took it up to 64. And again,
that's really good going.
Got home with 11, so it's pretty good.
Ideal.
Yeah.
It's a safe one, that, isn't it, Simon? It's what we call a safe one on the electric cars.
Yeah, it's different on Thursday when I was on my own. When I got to my overnight stay on Thursday night, and I was scraping in there with it was definitely single digits, we'll put it that way. And but knowing the place that I was staying at, I'd got a reserved overnight charger for free. You do try and tend to make the most of that.
Yes, absolutely. It does sort of turn you into a little bit of a skinflint, I think, electric cars. And I remember, I don't think we still do them. because I haven't, or although my missus got an electric car, we rarely charge it up at a supermarket. Are the Pod Point ones at the Tesco's still about, and are they still free of charge?
Yeah, I think they are. In fact, I think I saw a post on Facebook earlier where somebody was bemoaning the fact that somebody was blocking the charger at the Tesco's. It was a taxi, I think, that was just basically abusing the freeness of that. But yeah, I think they are still around. I quite like that as a concept. For me, it was always if you can drive to the Tesco's and while you're in the Tesco's, charge up the amount that you've used to get there and back, then effectively your return trip to the shop has been zero.
I agree, and I think I think it is good. That I used to abuse it a little bit, a touch. I wouldn't ever plug my car in, and then not go off and buy anything. I'd plug my car in, go and get some lunch, but then I might even leave it there for a couple of hours to go and do a lesson observation, then come back, which was a little bit cheeky, but is what it is. I'm sure many people do a lot worse than that and leave it there, overnight and charge the whole blasted thing. But,
it's a good topic of conversation though, because you've led me on to thinking one of the things I've done this week is look at the total cost of not ownership, because I haven't included finance and insurance, but the total cost of consumables in the Kia Soul EV that we've got. Because that's now 5.5 years old and has just clocked 20,000 miles. I know it's a low mileage car.
Okay.
But you know me and spreadsheets.
Yep.
So I've got a record of every single journey that it's done and what the efficiency was. I've got a record of every single consumable it's had, including wiper blades. I don't count screen wash because that's just silly if you start doing that level of detail. But
yeah.
So I was trying to think about how best to present that as a piece of information. So I'm obviously going to write an article about it, but I just thought for conversation's point, when I was last in a petrol car, excluding yours, but as an owner, my Audi RS Q6, I know it was costing me in fuel about 21 pence a mile.
Okay.
Now I know I had a heavy right foot. What was the MPG that you're getting on the Focus? Can you remind us?
How I use it, you see, it's a lot of, obviously, just the ADI training. I've got no learners. So we're quite often sat about, explain stuff, move on again. A lot of start, stop stuff, 20 miles per gallon. And it cost me getting on for 60 quid to fill it. 200 miles, 30p a mile, I would say in my Focus.
Yeah, but that's the way that you use it. I think if you've got a reasonably efficient petrol car and over the lifetime efficiency of it, you're averaging 45 miles per gallon. I think that's pretty good. I'm also picking 45 miles per gallon because it makes the maths really easy. At the moment, with current UK fuel prices, that would be 13 pence a mile.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kia Soul EV, lifetime 20,000 miles, tyres, wiper blades, service costs, all of that stuff. What do you think I'm getting in terms of pence per mile?
EV charging on its own, if you're charging it cheap rates.
Correct. Yes.
I think it's, I don't know. I don't even really do the sums. I'm suspecting 3 or 4p a mile. You'll be well under the 13 pence a mile. I would thought single digits, 7 or 8. I would say.
Yeah. See, this is why you're good at your job, man, because it was 7. See, I must have taught you something over the last 12 months of doing the podcast, but yeah, right. Spot on. You're right.
That's very good.
7 pence a mile all in.
Yeah, and then you think of my car just on fuel, 30 pence a mile.
Yeah. The different use cases.
People do moan about EVs, but if you use them, if you purchase them correctly, and if you use them in the correct way, they are a cheap way of operating. They absolutely are.
Yeah. And let's be clear. Carla's use case is almost perfect.
Mm.
It's low mileage, but it's not all around town. She does 2 or 3 journeys a week, which are a mixture of urban and motorway. She is a notoriously light-footed driver. Tyre wear is ridiculously low. I'll come on to that a bit later on, I think. But so she's the perfect use case in terms of that. And the journeys that she does are all easily handled within our overnight free cheap EV tariff. So it's never had anything other than that.
What just on that as well, I know there's different companies offer different rates. One of my sons is with Octopus, and I don't know how he's gone about doing it. I don't know whether it's just an offer that he's got. There are occasions during the day where demand is so low, they actually pay him to use electricity. Have you heard of that at all, Simon?
I'm on a similar scheme with Octopus as well. I don't get many of those offers, and they tend to come about. They tend to come in blocks, actually, because of the way that the demand and the load balancing works on the network. You'll tend to get a couple of days in a row where you get offered the opportunity to gain some credits back if you can increase your usage in those periods. I'll be honest, it's hard for us to take advantage of that because I'm already shifting so much of our load into the off-peak periods. But that, we can do it, even if it's a case of just sticking a washer on when you would normally do it overnight. That's the kind of thing.
Correct. Yeah. And they've my son and his soon-to-be wife, they've both got electric cars. He's got an iX3, she's got a Polestar 2. So sometimes they'll work from home as well. So it's ideal if you just get that shout early in the morning. So I'll stick my car on because they're paying me to effectively charge it. And I think information like that is not widely known. I'm not on that tariff. I'm with Scottish Power, and I think my off-peak, I'm on a special EV tariff that they've got. I think my off-peak's from 12 o'clock till 5 in the morning. I think it's 7.9p a kilowatt.
Yeah, you see, that's cheaper than us. We're the same period. We're 12:30 till 5:30 in the morning, around 9 pence a kilowatt. Okay. But it's still, I think the current peak rate is 29 pence. So it makes a big difference if you don't offset.
I think my peak rate's a little bit more than that. Yeah. But you know about our battery system. We use even this time of the year where you're using more electricity. A majority of our stuff is still covered by our battery. We've got 32 kilowatts of storage battery, so we just fill that overnight. And there are days where we do have to pull from the grid in the daytimes, but most of the time it's just out of the storage battery. And it's a nice time of year because the sun's starting coming out the last couple of days, and I've seen my solar little graph just getting a little bit bigger. So all good. But that information about service providers and energy providers, people probably need to do a fair bit of research before they then go off and maybe purchase an electric car as well, because it can make quite a big difference, that pence per mile charge that you were just talking about as well, Simon, can't it?
Yeah, make a huge difference. And particularly as this week I've experienced with some of the scalper rates that you pay for the rapid charging. I mean, it's all right getting 260 kilowatts at a rapid charger, but when it costs you 60 quid to be there for 12 minutes, it's like,
you're not wrong. I need a sip of my tea, so I'm gonna have to just make people have a little laugh at my mug, Simon.
Oh yes, and for the purposes of the viewers, this is Ashley's Baldy mug. Yeah, which I think is genius. It's absolute genius in the style of the Aldi logo. I think that's really good.
It is pretty good. That's a TikTok purchase, that one. I don't usually buy stuff off there, but I saw it and went, I've got to have that one. It's only because my little terror of a dog, Coco, I went out to spend a little bit of time with them a week or so ago, took a cup of tea out with me with my favourite mug, and I can't remember what went on. I think I had to fly inside, and I left my mug on the chair. Coco, the little get, grabbed it off the chair and started chucking it around the garden. Handle was broke and all sorts. So I decided to treat myself and have a new mug. And I saw that and went, yeah, that's got to be the one.
Yeah, dogs are great, aren't they? At abusing things, and it's always the thing that you want to keep and cherish that they'll target on.
Yeah. How's Athos's claw? Because I'm sure you won't mind letting people know. Didn't he? He pulled his I call it his thumb claw. Didn't he?
His dew claw. He did a fairly good job of ripping that out, and he's doing okay. It's been 2 weeks. We've had it dressed most days. He did a fairly long walk yesterday with a waterproof boot on, which he wasn't particularly mindful of. We've done a day today where we've tried to not have it dressed and let it open to the air. He's mithered it to death. So he's just been licking it constantly, which is not great. But I'm trying to persevere and not redress it and see if he's okay with it, because it is healing. Thank you. And thanks for asking.
Good to hear. Just out of interest, how much does Athos weigh? Have you got any idea of his weight at all?
Exactly, because I had to weigh him for his meds when we took him to the vet. He's 25 kilos.
Go on. 25? That's pretty good going. Callie's now up to 37, 38. And the little one, we'd just given her, which she's just been to the vets for her final injections. She's got to wait 2 weeks before we're going to take her out for a walk. But she went up, first injection, she was 9.2, and within a 4-week period, she's now up to 13. So she's going to be an absolute tank. She's barking in the background. So if anyone can hear my dog, one of my dogs barking, apologies. But I don't apologise.
No,
I think that's their job.
Yeah, 13 kilos. That's the same weight as my friend's corgi, Jack Russell Cross, Colin, who I saw this week. Yep. Athos' best friend. So yeah, that's a fully grown 3-year-old dog.
Coco's 15 weeks.
They're monsters.
She's a whopper.
Yeah.
But good effort. We can't go on to dog talk. This is a driving podcast. Have you got anything on your list, Simon, that we can start gabbing about? And...
Absolutely. Just quickly before I shift topics and let me do a Top Gear style shift. Just quickly before we shift gears into something else. You know, like that's dead professional, that linking, isn't it? I was talking about the tyres on the Kia Soul. Ooh, yeah. I did a projection. I have a spreadsheet, obviously, the projection of when I need to change them. It tells me what the anticipated date is and what the anticipated mileage of when I'd need to change each one of the 4 tyres, depending on the wear rates, as I record them. It's currently projecting I'll need to change the rear tyres on her car in 2038.
It's good going. Obviously... Obviously, people,
don't need to that.
Just, mate, I've got to jump in. Please don't leave your tyres that long, even though you may have tread on them. Please change them. Yeah. Do you think many people know about the numbers on the side about the? Do they know about them?
I don't think people pay much attention to it. I think what are the chances of most people these days running a tyre out of duration rather than it getting damaged by a pothole or wearing out through use? Fairly slim, I would have said. But in this case, slim. I know. The dot codes on Carla's car say is that they were tyres manufactured in August 2019. Yeah. So I will be changing them in August, September this year. The recommended lifespan is about 7 years. They'll have been 6 years old. I could run them to 7 years, but I think what I'll do, and you'll appreciate this, is I'll swap all 4 tyres in August this year and put a set of Michelin Cross Climate 3s on. So she's got those for the 100%.
Winter. And what myself and Simon are talking about is there's a 4-digit number on the side of your tyre. Pretty certain, I can't think off the top of my head, isn't it surrounded with like a little...
It's being an inner ellipse.
Sort of in an ellipse. And it's a 4-digit number. The first 2 digits are the month that the tyres were produced.
The week.
The second 2... Say again?
It's the week.
Oh, yes, the week of the year. It is. That's correct, Simon. Thank you for your correction. Yeah, it's the week and then the year. So have a little look at your tyres. And 6 years old, they're probably coming to their towards their end. Rubber, when it gets old, it cracks, it goes hard, and then your tyres aren't performing in the way that they should. So please, the next time you step out of your car, everyone, just check those little numbers and find out the week and the year that your tyres were manufactured.
Yeah, good bit of consumer advice. The other thing that she just had some warranty work done on that car.
Okay.
Apparently, the brake discs, brake pads rather, have never been used. The rears are still showing 12 millimeters, and the fronts have got 10 millimeters on them. So after 20,000 miles, she's only taken 2 mil off the front pads. Again, I know she's a lightfoot driver, but she still does motorway work. And for all those naysayers that say EVs are heavy on brakes because they're heavier, they're just not using them at all.
The first car that I really found that was the case, and it wasn't a full electric one, was my Toyota Auris. I think it was a 62 plate hybrid. And I think that had done 90,000 miles by the time I got it. Oh, by the time we got rid of it, after 3 years, and it was still on its original pads, and they were still fine.
Yeah,
quite good going.
Yeah, I had an Auris hybrid as well. Gosh, it was a boring car.
It was a boring car, but it was honestly, I think it was the most. It was the best driving school car for purpose that I've ever had. Honestly, I've had some stupid things, as you know, but it was probably the most sensible one. Pence per mile was really low. It had nothing go wrong with it. It was fab. It was quite a comfortable place to be. And Toyotas, as you know, as most people know, they're pretty reliable things as well.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that bit of consumer advice. Let's shift into something else then.
Thanks for correcting me as well, Simon.
There's been a couple of articles recently, and I thought even on one of our trips out, it may be worth looking at this. Junction 37 on the M6, which is sort of the one after Kendal, has been in the news a couple of times recently. It's one of those weird ones where it's an uphill slip road and it comes to a stop sign.
All right, okay. I don't know it.
No.
I can't think of it, to be honest, Simon.
But there's a couple of articles that have raised their head. The first one was, interestingly enough, obviously the police are trying to encourage drivers not to just carry on through the stop sign. It's a notorious black spot for accidents. And they managed to nab a couple of people within an hour. One was an out-of-town sales rep, but one of them was a local driving instructor who just sailed through the stop sign, which doesn't look good. But on the back of that, there's a coroner that's made a recommendation based on one of the most recent fatal accidents there to say this needs to be redesigned. And I've been up there, and it's a tricky junction to spot, even in good conditions, but you approach it in fog, which there's quite often a lot of up there, and you are guessing where the end of the slip road is. And it's really not obvious it's a stop. And the cross traffic is at national speed limit. And that's the problem.
So yes, that conflict risk is high. Yeah, I get it. First thing that comes to mind is the rumble strips, the slowing down strips. Don't know. It's an interesting one. So many subtle little factors that, in my opinion, that can make junctions dangerous. Off a motorway. Uphill. That probably helps a little.
Helps a little.
Do you say it's not visible? I can't even picture it. I can't even think whether I've even been there, Simon. The stop sign's not visible. I know if you've got a foggy condition, and it's quite likely up in the lakes on occasion.
I think they're fairly visible. I think the issue is that I think the perception is as you're coming off the motorway, you think you've got good visibility of what the traffic is, and then realizing you've actually got a 90-degree turn to do onto the main carriageway, and that main carriageway traffic won't be traffic, it'll be an occasional vehicle, and it'll be travelling at speed because it's on a national speed limit. So there's a lot of things they can do, but it's been like that for a long time, and there's repeated incidents, and I'm surprised that nobody else has done anything about it yet.
There's one off the Widnes to St Helens Linkway coming off towards is it Cronton, where you come off the national speed limit dual carriageway and up to a stop junction. that's on test, or it used to be on test routes from, was it Widnes? I think it was Widnes many years
Mm.
ago. But it's never really caused any problems. But yeah, what do you think? What do you think will be done about this junction? Do you think because it has been in the press, there will be something done about it? Do you think it's at that level now,
Yeah.
especially with so many people having an opinion on it?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's at that point now. And in typical highway style, they'll probably throw the kitchen sink at it. It'll get the rumble strips will get done. They'll put 25 stop signs on it. They'll reduce the main carriageway speed limit to 30 miles an hour. They'll put a speed camera on it. They'll do the whole lot, and it'll work, but it probably was overkill. A bit like the one-way system on the junction up near us, just to solve one junction's problem. They've invested all of that money into diverting traffic around.
Yeah. There's a road near me that they're experimenting with a change of layout as well. It's a road called Muirhead Avenue. A lot of my local listeners will know of this as well, and it's 30 speed limit dual carriageway with quite wide central reservations and loads of tributary roads off it. Because the crossroad sections in the middle have had a number of accidents, they're experimenting with closing the central islands.
Right.
One end, you've got a fairly big open flowing roundabout with not that much traffic. So one direction, it's okay. The other direction, it's a traffic light crossroad, and everything, because they can't use these other crossroad sections in between, everything's piling up at the traffic light junction up at the other end. So quite often, if they make small adjustments to maybe one junction, it can have big side effects with other things as well, and maybe make other junctions a little more dangerous.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily saying more traffic and hold up's going to be more dangerous. You're still suffering with your cold, mate, aren't you? But what I've found with this particular junction where I live, because so much traffic's going through it, you're then getting people getting a little bit more impatient, red light jumping, taking risks where they normally wouldn't do. So I think it often just shifts the problem to a different area when they make quite significant adjustments. Is there anything like that? I know that junction that we've seen near yours. Why did they originally do that junction near yours as well, Simon? Was it from a collision, or
it was multiple minor collisions? Because if anybody remembers our original drive along with the viewer where we're out in the Kia, you come down to, originally used to come down to it to a stop line, but you had really restricted visibility because there's a house wall off to the right hand side, and the cross traffic was coming. It was at 40 miles an hour, but it had the priority left to right. So there was a lot of time people were just nosing out to get better visibility, or misjudged where the stop line was, and they'd get their front corners taken off. So it was a series of those. In fact, if you watch the footage back as I comment on that junction, there's the remains of somebody's bumper off to the side of the road. So it was that they did it for. But what they've done with creating that one-way system. In fact, I saw evidence of it the other day with people diverting off, as you say, down other roads that are not as suitable, just to not have to do that. Yeah. So you wouldn't even say it was a lengthy diversion, but it just, people's perception is, I'll just nip down here and cut some time off.
That's right. Yeah. Well, Ibrahim Ibrahim from the channel sent me a little link to a video about some cycling in Vancouver where he is. And because I think it was that one. See that many videos. In any case, there's issues as well with certain roads getting blocked up and satellite navigation's taking the shortest route, the quickest route, and that also, creating rat runs. I think it was probably a different video that I was first originally thinking about. But it is that scenario that I've just explained about sat nav taking us to different places and causing other problems as well. And that's another issue that people should be thinking of. Have you found any difference between ways and Google, or do you use your system in the Audi most of the time, Simon? I think we said when I did drive your Audi that you tend to use the Audi system most of the time.
Well, you're asking a trigger question there.
Go on.
A couple of weeks ago, I went into my Audi app to precondition the car, and it said, the car wasn't connected, and I've seen that before. It's normally a back office thing, and 24 hours later it's working again. Well, 24 hours went by, 48 hours went by, a week went by, and still nothing. So I started trolling the forums around, and there's been a change in the back end systems at Audi, which has caused some people to have problems, and effectively it forgot who I was. So it dropped the connection between my account in the app and my account in the car. I had to do a reset. It then wouldn't let me sign back in the car. So it's amazing how dumb it makes the car when it doesn't know your account, because it doesn't know that you've got signed up for the connectivity account. It therefore doesn't connect to show you traffic information, which means that the sat-nav is not useless, but it's not then optimal. And obviously routing for chargers, and bearing in mind I did this 400 odd mile trip on Thursday, Friday. I needed to know where the charges were, and it wasn't playing ball. So under normal circumstances, I would always be using the Audi system, just because when you do want to use a rapid charger, it will route you to the best available one that is connected to the Audi charger, and it will preheat the battery when I got there. When I got to the one on Sunday when we were coming back, the battery was already at a nice 32 degrees when we got there. So that was the reason. But I have used Android Auto and Google Maps as an alternative, and it's pretty good.
Not bad. It would be interesting. Apparently, I read an article again. Read that much stuff, can't remember where it was or what it was about, but it was the differences between, although they're owned by the same company, the differences between how Waze generates routes and how Google Maps generate routes is quite different, and that might be an interesting one for us to have a little look at and have a little discussion. So I might try and do a little bit of reading up on that for next time, Simon.
Perhaps we should set off from the same place, one using Google Maps and one using Waze, and see who gets the best route and who gets there in one
Simon
place.
And Ashley do a Top Gear challenge. Yeah. Good effort.
But as it was, I managed to fudge the system a little bit and figured out that if I opened the car using my phone, it would remember who I was. If I opened it with the key, it would use the guest user, and that was the thing. Now, I've persevered with it. It's actually going in for a fairly big software update this week, which should fix all of those problems and other ones as well. So watch this space.
Good. Happy days. Has it been pretty good over the last month or so, though? No other little problems? Has been impeccable in its behaviour, has it, Simon? Yeah,
absolutely. Lovely place to be. And as I've done my 10,000 mile report. I've not done a voiceover of the video because I didn't have a voice, but I will do a quick update on what it's been like for the first 10,000 miles, and it's been a really nice big. I think it's a not very efficient, comfy armchair most of the time. It's really good.
Fair play. Mine's getting its stuff taken out. The registration is off, so I haven't got me pass SOS on the car anymore. I've got the dual controls coming out on Tuesday. I've got to take it to Liverpool Auto Care. I'm going to have the dash cam taken out. I know I could probably take it out myself, but I've got to have the ghost taken out while I'm there. Yeah. So I'll just get the whole lot done just in an afternoon or a couple of hours. And then I'm still waiting on a date for my car. No idea. It's still in the country. It's not been delivered to the dealer yet, so don't know. Yeah. Just see how it goes.
Yeah, it's got to be imminent. If it's in the country, they don't normally hang around.
But it's been in the country since the middle of January as well. Mm-hmm. So we've been in the country for about 6 weeks, and then I don't know whether the batch of vehicles has just been held back for inspection or there's a problem with it. Don't know. Anyway, is what it is. It'll arrive when it arrives, but it's been assigned a 26 plate, so I know it's. Well, I was going to say I know it's going to be after the 1st of March, but it's the 1st of March today, so
Yeah.
obviously it is.
Yeah. That's actually something I was thinking about very vaguely. Was on the dual controls thing. And there are, you can fit them into most vehicles, if not all vehicles. How do you get on if it was an EV with regen? What I was thinking about is again, this is linked to somebody else talking about EVs make you car sick. People going between on and off power with the regen on, and it creates the seesaw. If you take over the brake in a situation where you need to with dual controls, you're using the physical foot brake.
Yes.
In every EV that I've driven, if you were to left foot brake, it immediately disconnects the throttle pedal in electronic senses.
Interesting.
I presume the same thing would happen, but wouldn't that put you through the windscreen? Because then you're going to get maximum regen and the amount of physical brake that you've applied. It'd be an interesting thing to see what happens.
Interesting. I cannot answer that because I've not had an electric driving school vehicle. I am certain that there are instructors who are going to listen to this or watch this, and they'll be able to answer that question. So again, we're reaching out to myself and Simon. It's something we do not know. Please do let us know. Instructors, it's been something in the news recently about loads of driving instructors aren't driving instructors. Have you seen all that stuff that's been flying about?
The fake driving instructor scandal, yeah, and that there was one this week, I think, where somebody had whether they got a custodial sentence or not, they got or heavy fines, I don't know, for impersonating a driving instructor. Yeah, is it a particularly common thing that this is happening, or is it an edge case that the press are inflating, or what? What's your thoughts on it, Ash?
I think there are many.
Yeah.
All around the country, I'm hearing stories all the time. It'd probably be best, I think, if I just explained a little about how you can probably tell whether your instructor is a proper instructor. Going with one of the national companies, you're probably a safe bet. Going with a recognised driving school, probably a safe bet. It's generally going to be the independent ones who you're going to find maybe on Instagram or TikTok that you may have further problems with. A driving instructor has generally a badge in their window. It's a green badge if they're a fully qualified driving instructor, and it's a pink triangular badge if they're a trainee driving instructor. Don't necessarily be put off by a trainee driving instructor.
It could be one of yours.
I've got a few.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Some of these trainees are going to be taught the latest methods and the latest techniques, where there are some people who have been doing the job for 20 years who have never done any CPD. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. I would probably treat it like a trainee doctor if you went to a hospital. The trainee doctor can do majority of things perfectly well and perfectly fine. So can generally a trainee driving instructor. So they're the two different badges that you've got. A driving instructor must display one of these badges. However, you may find sometimes that trainee driving instructors, you can run out of time of your badge, and while you're applying for another badge, they're still legally allowed to teach. They still should display even an out-of-date badge. But you've got problems when driving instructors have not got a badge in the window. It should be displayed either in the top left or the bottom left-hand side of the car front window of the windscreen. If your driving instructor hasn't got one of these, ask them about it. You can probably start off with that. But there are other ways that you can probably check. Not all driving instructors are going to be registered on the gov.uk site for driving instructors. You can find my details on there, and it says a lot of information about me, but that's an opt-in, not a must.
Right.
So it's a little bit sketchy, and there are many people who have realised that they can go off and undercut normal driving instructors, still be charging £35 an hour, get themselves a car, get themselves L plates, even stick a set of dual controls in and pretend to be driving instructors and earn some decent money. But I would like to say to people that driving instructor insurance is only available to fully qualified driving instructors or PDI's potential driving instructors. You will not be properly insured if someone's just turning up and they are not a proper driving instructor. So it's a minefield out there, and it's something that a lot of people are getting caught out by because there's a lack of driving instructors and everyone's needing driving lessons. So they'll go with anyone who can fit them in, especially then if they get offered a cheaper price, and then before they know it, they're in with the non-qualified instructor.
So again, this is the same question back to you then that we had on that Junction. With it coming and surfacing in the press, do you think something will get done about it? Are they going to mandate the registration with GovUK so that there is an online registry that you can look people up in the same way as you would with a gas engineer? I'm talking from experience because I've worked with a gas safe register, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. Some of the driving examiners who I've spoke to, they will report people who they who they know aren't proper instructors, and there are DVSA enforcement teams who do act on pieces of information, but it's super difficult. I'm not sure. I'm actually not sure whether there is an actual proper register. I should probably know. I don't think there is, though, Simon. I don't think that there's a proper register that you can go off and check whether the driving instructor that you're with is actually qualified. You could ask for their ADI or PDI number, and you could, I'm sure, get in touch with the DVSA and ask them. I don't know whether they would give you much information. GDPR's obviously a little bit of a problem, but if you gave them the ADI or PDI number, I'm pretty certain they could confirm or deny whether that was a proper instructor.
So there's you for listeners and viewers, and passing on to friends and family who are maybe venturing into the world of learning to drive. First point of call is look for the stickers in the window. And then after that, if you've got any other suspicions, maybe dig a little deeper or just take your business elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. But it is difficult, and it's very common all around the country. But it's something else that, I don't know, it's just adding to the list of the problems on our roads at the minute. It seems to just be getting more and more and more. Potholes is another big thing this time of year. That's not getting any better year after year either, is it, Simon?
No, I'll send you a clip that I captured while I was out and about on Thursday. It was a national speed limit, country A road. I came over a hill, and lifting your eyes up and looking into the distance, I could see there was, as I think I commented, there's a negotiation going on there. So I backed off straight away. There was some passing cars that were obviously doing one at a time. I came around the bend, and the condition of the road, it was a single, one car at a time, basically, through this section of road, because the only way to get through it was to thread your way through the middle of the road at about walking pace. And even then, you felt like you were on a rocking boat going side to side. It was just absolutely appalling, and there was no sign of any work going on other than there's humps in the road, cautionary tale, that kind of.
Yeah, it's not as if our country has a massive temperature sort of like difference between summer and winter. Compared to other countries, we are quite boringly the same with our temperatures. So why do our road surfaces break up? And then, you can go to Scandinavia and then they're perfectly fine. I even went to Poland a number of years back and we're over there. I was over there and I was amazed how good the roads were.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I came back down the A1 on Sunday. No, today's Sunday. Yesterday. It's one of those weekends. And there was one section of road where we were down on 2 lanes, 50 miles an hour for about 6 miles. And even Carla said to me, "Oh, this is that section you commented about last time." Because the last time we come down it in lane 1, the road was just almost peeling away. The amount of gravel that was on the hard shoulder where trucks were flinging it up. Lane 1 was just an absolute mess. 2 and 3, perfectly fine. It's just lane 1 had been hammered by the HGVs and it was just breaking up for this one section. And it's the entire section where they've resurfaced it in one go. All that needs doing. So there's overnight closures on that road from tomorrow for 6 nights.
Aye, it's an ongoing thing trying to sort the potholes out, but you can sort of see it coming. We have a little period of cold weather, and it's the little people probably understand how it works, but effectively the water gets into the small cracks, and when it freezes, it expands and then just blows the road up. And it's usually, I would probably say, a month or so after we've had some cold weather, but we haven't really had a massive cold snap this year, though. So
but we had a lot of water, and so the amount of water that was in that road surface when we did have any overnight below zeros, I think that's what's causing it. But we're not structural engineers; we're just our consumers of the road,
observers. Yeah, you're not wrong. Absolutely. And anything else? Go on. You were going to start to say something there.
No, just one thing. I keep shuffling around. I've been meant to tell you about it. We talked a while ago about my friend David, who's out in France, who sort of is expat and moved out there, and what he was doing about his UK driving license and whether he was going to convert to a French one.
Okay.
I finally managed to ask him the question as to what he was doing. And it goes a little bit like this. He's let's say, of an age. He's a bit older than us, but he's of an age where he's in that pre-95 pass where you got all the extra categories on your driving license. Yep. And what he is concerned about is if he went to a French driving license, he'd have to sit a test, which is fine. But then he would lose all of his additional categories because they're not applicable anymore. So if when he comes back to the UK and he does some work for one of his friends over here who gives him the keys to a Discovery and says, go and take that trailer around there, it's a brake trailer on a twin axle, he wouldn't be licensed to drive it anymore. So it's the grandfather categories on his license that get messed about if you then switch over to a French license. That's what he should be doing, though.
Yes. Whether he does or not is a different thing, is it?
Yeah, it is. He's of the mindset that he spends quite a bit of time going backwards and forwards between the UK and France, and unless he is involved in some incident where the French police query his license, then he's not going to bother with it. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I thought it was an interesting point. It hadn't occurred to me that that's why he was putting it off. I thought he was putting it off because he didn't want to sit a driving test. There is that about it, but
it's only a small part of it. Yeah, absolutely. Here's a little thing. I've done a little video on these already, Simon. I'm just going to open a little zipped case and just show you these. What are these things? Put it on properly.
POV glasses?
They're eye tracking glasses, Simon.
Oh, right.
And it's quite an expensive purchase.
Yeah.
But, they're used in all different industries, airline industry to help teach pilots and bits and bobs. But I've bit the bullet and I've purchased a set, and they're going to help with analysis of all different incidents. You said about that stop junction coming off the motorway up near Kendal. Now, if I had those glasses on someone approaching that junction, you can see exactly where they're focusing.
Right.
And I've had a little play with them over the last little bit. I've already produced a video that's going to be coming out shortly, but it's just a little teaser for people on what's going to come up shortly. It's sort of like Ashley's analysis to a whole new level, Simon. And there's loads of interesting little things that we'll be able to do with it on, well, I'll be able to do with it on the channel. But I said we because honestly, with your ability with driving, I would like you to be able to have a go. But the only problem that we've got, I might have to purchase the eye lens because obviously you wear glasses. There's a sort of
Oh
like
yeah, you wouldn't want me driving without my glasses on.
a lens kit. Have you got contact lenses at all, Simon? No, I don't think I could put them in either. But in any case, it's going to be an interesting little thing.
That's a great use of technology. That really, yeah.
But I wanted to ask you first because of your very good level of driving. I would like to get, without me doing it, I obviously will get involved and I'll be using them and showing people where I look. But I wanted to get someone else apart from me to have a go at these and just sort of like set a little benchmark and set a little standard. But I have to think of someone else. But anyway,
But if I can't get involved, I'm interested in the results. It's one of those. That's
absolutely
really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
And it's a way of pushing things forward for everyone as well. The number one reason why people fail driving tests, and it has been the same for 26 years, is observations. Pretty obviously, it's about where you're looking. I've had a little play with them on a lesson observation that I did with a trainee driving instructor, and we're just literally coming out of a car park in Liverpool. Instantly, first junction that she's coming to, she's staring at the floor, overshoots the junction. And it's to be honest, I don't think it needed verification, but it's verified virtually everything I've done over the last 20 years.
Affirmation, really, rather than verification. Yeah. On that point, I did want to say congratulations on 10 years of learning points with putting 510 episodes out, 520 episodes rather.
Actually, you've preempted it, Simon, because if you do your maths, there's a little bit more than 520 learning points in the 10 years. So you're a smart cookie, you are, Simon. But yeah, thank you very much. It is 10 years coming up, but I've done a little special over the next week or so. So Brilliant. I'm sure people will tune in for that. But yeah, 10 years. We've got, I think, one. Is it this weekend coming? I think it is, where I actually, I think there was one that I put out and I was wrong and I got corrected on it and I deleted it.
Right.
So we were missing, I think it's number 85 or 86, can't remember off the top of my head. So I've gone back and filled that in first.
Back catalogue.
And then we're going back to the 10 years. But it's, apart from that one that's missing, it's been 10 years straight of doing a learning point every single week.
Do you find it really interesting to go back to the old ones and see how your approach to recording and the quality of the edit has gone up and increased, as well as the quality of the footage?
Yes, but the most important thing for me is the message, and even the message, and remember the first learning point as well, learning point number 1. Talking about witness again, I was in witness and I just said to a student about holding back behind a vehicle in lane 2 with a set of lights just in case someone walks. Those messages haven't really changed much. I've adapted and I've changed certain techniques, but the messages are generally the same thing, but just maybe said in a little bit more efficient way. But some of the early stuff, it's cringeworthy. The quality of the audio is the big thing, Simon.
Yeah, it is. It is, and we're still learning within recording of this podcast as to how to improve audio quality, and I think we're getting there. And shout out to those people that get in touch and say we weren't quite there, or you were better on this one, or as I was pointed out last night, last time I was blending into the background because I hadn't got my green screen set up properly. But thank you for that.
I'm surprised you can see me tonight with me camouflage t-shirt on.
I thought you were just a headless. Yeah. I'm sporting my Knight Rider t-shirt tonight, so
like that. Knight Rider. Yeah, I saw a little bit on that the other day about. I tell you what, it wasn't necessarily just that. I like all those old TV shows that we used to watch. Knight Rider, Airwolf as well. Have you ever seen the stats on Airwolf? Do you remember Airwolf, the helicopter one?
Massive Airwolf fan.
The stats on that show were colossal. The money that they spent making that. Have a little look up on it. Anyone who's as sad as myself and Simon, have a little look at the stats on the money that show cost to actually produce. It's astronomical. And we're talking, it was in the 70s, wasn't it? 70s, 80s, early 80s, yeah.
Yeah, and there was only one Airwolf, the Bell Treble 2B that was converted for the filming. There was only one. It's not like the Jigs of Hazzard where they had hundreds of General Lees and in Knight Rider where they had 19 that were gifted to them by General Motors. They only had the one, so they had to look after it. It had a sad demise, that helicopter. It eventually.
I can't believe you know this. This is superb.
Yeah,
go on, carry on. Brilliant.
It finished up in service as an air ambulance in the continent. I think it was either the Swiss or the Germans that were using it as an air ambulance, and it crashed. It crashed in bad weather, and that was its demise. Quite sad in the end. Similarly, do you remember Treasure Hunt? Annika Rice.
Yes.
Yeah. The main helicopter in that is at the bottom of the English Channel on a relocation flight for Castleair over to Gibraltar. That went into trouble, so that no longer exists. The comms helicopter was recently sold, but the original, the yellow and white one from Castleair, that's at the bottom of the, and it's just far enough away from the channel they can't get. It's not worth the salvage.
Right. Okay. It is a little thing as well. Years ago, I went on a cruise. My parents took me on a cruise. I think it was a sponsored cruise where a few of the old Liverpool footballers must have maybe paid a few quid or got a free holiday to go off and spend a little bit of time on a boat. I think it was a Russian boat as well. Something saying to me, Mikhail Lermontov. Don't know. It was a Russian cruise anyway. We went for a cruise around the Med. About 18 months after I was on it, it hit a reef off New Zealand and sank, and it's at the bottom of the sea as well. But there you go.
If you ever want to waste an entire podcast talking about 80s TV shows like Dukes of Hazzard, Knight Rider, Street Hawk, Airwolf, I am a...
The Fall Guy.
Fall Guy. Oh, what? Dog Carla's realizing that our skybox is now almost completely full of Fall Guy because they've been repeating the series and I've just been recording it. So I've got about entire three series that I've been recording every Sunday.
I'm just going
when are you going to watch this?
I'm going to put this question out to all our listeners and viewers then, Simon. Is there any other TV show that people had a real favourite for in the 80s? Because it sounds though me and Simon, and we've never talked about this before, we just stumbled on this and I think we were fans of the same shows. Is there any other of those TV shows that was your favourite?
Please let us know.
Quality.
Let us know, absolutely. Which brings me on to letting us know. All feedback obviously welcome. You can reach out to us in the comments section on the videos and respond in the feedback from the audio versions of this, but you can also email us at hello@thesmartdrivepodcast.co.uk. Please do, and one of us, namely me, will reply in some timely manner.
Timely. Apologies again, Simon. I'm just going to let everyone know. Simon messaged me. Are we still on for tonight? Do we need to reschedule? I totally just got into something else. Anyway, we made it. And again, Simon, cracking podcast. Thank you for all your prep work and all your work that you do on this. It's always good speaking to you. And
Yeah.
Take care, everyone else.
Been an absolute pleasure. Thanks, Ash. Bye-bye, everyone.